I could jump in. I don't. It didn't pass, right? I don't know. I'm not for that. I don't think that that's exactly the way it was either. But I can say I used student loans when I grew up, and I definitely found my wife's a teacher, and she's obviously very much for them too. So I think a little bit of what I'm not sure. You know, Tom makes his point. I think that. You know, there's a little bit of a portrayal here of this big cut situation. It was like Medicare. You know, you heard about the $270 billion cut. That was on the news, and Newman got nailed for it. They were yelling at Newman on these ads that he's cutting Medicare. And I hope I'm not changing the subject on you, but it's the same kind of thing. Is that they were going to reduce the rate of growth in Medicare from, you know, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like 4,600 a year, 6,700 a year, or something to that degree, rather than 7,100. And the other part of it is the Democrats are going to cut that by $210 billion themselves, or slow the rate of growth. So I think sometimes that, you know, and I listen to cross-run these debates, and sometimes, you know, you hear the Democrats and they're saying things that it sound really good, and the Republicans come back and they say things really good too. So as a whole, I'm not for that. I don't think Tom's for. I shouldn't speak for him, but I'm not for cutting student loans and reducing. I think they're very important. And one thing I am for on I say on the literature is school choice. And I think that's a very important program that the Republicans are pushing. Basically, of course, it's trying to get vouchers where, you know, poor kids can get to a better school, and hopefully that'll help people be more involved with their children. And that's what, you know, I talked to my wife about that. That's the key, I think, is getting parents more involved with the children, and I think that's the best thing the government can try to do.
You know, I'm a small business owner. I believe in free markets. Now, having access to money, to borrow money to go to college, this is what you're looking for? I mean, this is what I would want to promote, but it does not always have to be a huge government.
No, I know, the direct federal, the direct loan program that was started through the Clinton administration, there are, of course, loans to get other ways. But the thing with the direct loan program is that students, with regular loans, there's a lot of times fees that students have to just to fill out to even apply for the direct loan. There's higher interest rates on the other types of loans that student gets. And usually students do get a combination of both, but sometimes there's rules that go with those other loans. You have to keep a certain GPA, your major has to be this, and if the student decides to change their major, boom, that loan is gone. And with the direct loan, the students are allowed to, that loan is there. They know that it's kind of a rock that they can know that's always going to be there through their education. And I guess last year, there was legislation going through that they wanted to actually cut the entire program.
All right. Okay, like what I'm understanding, 20% of all government loans are defaulted. All right, if this is an accurate number. So now you have people in the free market who are looking at you saying, are you a worthy risk? And they look at you and they say, you want to go into a career that they don't believe is going to exist in the marketplace, that you won't be able to pay that loan back. So they're setting stipulation out there, and it is, in their mind, a good way of saying, are you going to be a worthwhile, you know, you're going to take an archaeology degree and you want a bank to pay for an archaeology degree. They're going to think, well, this gal's maybe not going to be able to pay it back. I mean, where you're going to try to get that through the government, I suppose that's something totally different. But, you know, in the marketplace, you know, risk factors. I mean, when a customer comes into me, wants to buy printing, I own a little printing business. If you see the ink on my hands, are they blue from back there? Somebody comes into me and I just don't give a loan to anybody. I mean, printing to anybody on credit. I mean, I have to check into that or I might be out of business. So if the government is trying to set up better regulations and restrictions so they don't have a 20% default rate, I think this is a fine and right thing to do.
We back there?
Yeah, I have a question. I saw on the news a new ad out for the Dole campaign against partial birth abortions, and that it was actually vetoed by President Clinton. I was wondering why that was vetoed and what exactly your stance is on that?
Well, I'm against partial birth abortion. I'm pro-life. My opponent, by the way, Tom Barrett, in November, he voted to he voted the other way. He voted for partial birth or against the ban. What your question is about, I don't understand your question. Clinton basically vetoed it because he vetoed the fact that he wanted to keep partial birth abortions legal. So he vetoed it, the House overrode it, but the Senate couldn't. And that's basically the answer. I don't know what else you want to say.
Well, I would believe that Bill Clinton vetoed that because abortion is a multi-billion-dollar industry that is lined up behind the Democratic Party, and he cannot vote to alienate a huge part of his voting base. People who are in that business of whatever, however you want to say it, destroying human life, do not want any inroads made on that in their industry. So he is just being true to supporting and upholding the people who are behind his campaign. So that's why that would be my understanding as to why he would veto that legislation.
I was just curious about the ban on assault weapons. I was just asking either one of you if you support the repeal of the ban on assault weapons.
I do not. I believe in the right to bear arms, but assault weapons, I would not push this to a repeal of the assault weapons ban.
You know, if you look into what these guns really are, that the function that these guns perform are actually no different than the function that other guns perform. They are banned because they have a particular style to them. So when somebody says an assault weapon ban, these guns are actually no different than any other guns that are legal for people to own. It is because they have a cosmetic appearance that this term assault weapon ban has been created. You know, again, I'm going to go to Washington, I'm going to take an oath of office. I swear, protect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. And I have a copy in my car. I probably should have brought it and read it to you. But it says that Congress shall make no law infringing on people's rights to keep and bear arms. Congress shall make no law infringing on people's rights to keep and bear arms. You know, whatever the media is trying to do, I mean, it astounds me when you listen to all this talk about the NRA, you know, this big organized group out there. I mean, I don't find it in the 4th District that there is anything like that. So that supposedly the assault weapon ban, actually, the information I get, resulted in 2 arrests. Now, I don't exactly know what those arrests were, but supposedly under that piece of legislation, 2 arrests have occurred. You know, you talk to anybody, police, I'll tell you, police officers are not against gun bans. The ones that are supporting me that I talk to. You know, you talk to paramedics, they say when they go to a house, you know, it's screwdrivers and knives. These are the #1. Anything that anybody can get to attack somebody is what they use. So if you're thinking it is going to reduce crime or violence, it will not reduce crime or violence. I mean, there was less than a couple in the whole United States used these particular cosmetically styled guns, which gets at me an assault rifle.
You know, just first of all, we're not going to agree on everything up here. You know, I respect Tom's views.
Yeah, I'm the real conservative.
And he actually respects mine, but yes, he is probably more. Yes, he's more conservative than I am.
I'm the radical extremist.
I had a question for you. Since our time was that small, but